Well, the plan today was to definitely not work on this truck, but unfortunately, I believe my thermostat is, I think it's got stuck. It's stuck closed on me, I believe, because it started getting a little hot on me. So, gonna start with the thermostat first. This truck does have like 251,000 miles on it, and I've only had it for the last, say, 15,000 miles. So never had any issues with it. It's been a great, reliable daily driver. This is my daily driver. I drive it about 130 miles a day, round trip. So it's been real reliable, but like I said, it's starting getting a little warm on me. So I'm gonna start removing all this to get down to the thermostat housing and replace it, and then hopefully see if it'll fix the truck. And then I also have for towing with this thing, not towing heavy. It's not built for towing heavy, but I did buy a airlift slam air kit for this truck, because this truck is really loose in the end, suspension wise. I don't know if that's with the lowering kit. I didn't install the lowering kit, so I'm not 100% sure what the truck has on it. I was told it's a 3.5 is what I was told. That's the lowering kit on it. But again, it just feels real loose. It also has, I don't know if I can, let's see if I can try to, you can't really tell on camera, but it doesn't take much. You can put your just foot on the bumper or just climb up in the back of the truck and feel it squat pretty easy. So definitely putting a trailer on it to just pull the Ranger around. I need to go get it serviced and stuff. I'd really like to use this truck. I do have that truck that I will use for it. And it's already ready to pull and everything. Just got my windshield wipers. That's a future video I'm gonna do with it. I got a whole brand new upgraded modern windshield wiper kit by Detroit Speed for this thing. I got it coming in because the windshield wipers currently do not work on this truck. They work slow, and then now they completely do not work. So I could use this truck to pull. It's definitely no problem there doing, pulling with that truck. But this is my daily driver. I'd rather put miles on this one more than I would that one. So like I said, I got that airlift kit, and hopefully if we can get the overheating issue figured out, we can maybe start hopefully installing the slam air kit on the truck. All right, so you gotta remove your air box, and the little intake here connects to your throttle body, runs over to the air box. You can disconnect it here. It's best normally just to disconnect it here and then disconnect it here, and you can pull this out. And I may not even have to remove the box actually, because there's a little housing, and I'll show you in a sec. It's right down here it's where your water pump, right on the front of the engine. That's the little housing. The radiator hose connects to it, and it's kind of right. It's not, you can get to it pretty easy, but once you get this out, I'll kind of show down in there where you can actually see. So let me get this off first. And I was hoping to work on my square body today, but I gotta have the vehicle that makes the money. Gotta have it working, so then I can work on one that costs money. That's stuck pretty good. Well, you better be this snug. Well, this thing stuck pretty good. Well, definitely not the way I recommend doing it, but this one clamp doesn't want to come off the box. Go ahead and disconnect mass sensor. See if it'll come off. There. Oh, finally. So you can see now that I got the little the little intake off. Now you can kind of see down in here. So this little housing right here, where you see your little radiator hose comes in and connects to it. Your water pump's all, if I actually show on camera, water pump is all right here on the front. And then if you kind of just can look down here, you'll see kind of like this little 45-degree elbow. It's just kind of look where your radiator hose goes, and your thermostat will actually be in there. So that is down here. That's what we got to get to and disconnect to put the new one in. I just got the 2 bolts. There's one up here and there's one kind of like across on the bottom side. Just got the 2 bolts out, and let's see if it yep, breaks free. Oh, got to fill it up with coolant again. But there's a thermostat. Getting the lighting. There's the thermostat in the old housing. So let's see. I could reuse this old housing. The part I got came with a new one. This one looks a lot more, look at the thickness on it versus the one we just took off. And this one definitely looks more heavy duty, but if that one doesn't fit, have issues, I can always just pop the actual thermostat. I don't know if I can do it while holding the camera. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what a bad thermostat and a good thermostat looks like. But yeah, there's the new one. There's the old one. All right, so ended up getting the you can see the new one down there because it's kind of shiny. Ended up getting the new housing on. Got my radiator hose hooked back up. Went ahead, hooked my intake back up. So now I just need to top it off with coolant, let all the air get out of the system, and hopefully then I can see if this is gonna fix the overheating issue, and then we can get to the fun part, which is installing the Slam air kit. Well, got everything back together, topped it off with all the coolant. I know it opened up because the level went down. I had it full, and the thermostat opened up and poured a lot of it out of the tank, and it's still full, so I'm just kind of letting the truck run, see if it pulls any more in, and then I'll just keep topping it off. But yeah, I had a leak after I put it back together. I guess my hose, radiator hose, wasn't completely sealing off, but I got that fixed. And like I said, just trying to see if it gets hot. And I've got some good teamwork over here. But so far, I've been letting the truck run for about 15 minutes. It is up to temp. You can see there. It's up to temp. And I mean, it hasn't moved. That's where it's been sitting. I'm going to hook my little scanner tool. I got my scanner tool right there. That's going to hook it up and see actually what it says on there, because you can't go off these dashes there. Everything's inaccurate on them and they read off. But yeah, but I think that's going to fix our overheating issue. Bodie, ain't that right? Well, I believe that fixed it, because it's about 15 minutes been staying right at 207 and bounced 208, 207, but mostly 207. So I believe that our overheating issue is fixed. All right, so I think I got the overheating issue fixed. So I've been kind of starting to play a little bit with this kit and kind of reading the instructions. And I believe I've got the truck sitting exactly where I want it to, I guess you'd say, be at the lowest point the bags can go, which they have to have at least a minimum of 10 pounds of pressure in them at all times. And I've got the truck, it's sitting about 3/4 of an inch higher right now in the back, measuring off the front, how high it is, and then right now where it's sitting up in the air, it's about 3/4 inches higher in the rear, which is I want it higher in the back because I'm gonna pull with the truck. So, you know, and I don't like the real squatted look. And I definitely don't like the big rake look. So just a little bit higher in the back is perfect for me. It's actually been lower in the back before, I guess, the point of me having this truck all the way up to this point. It's always been lower in the rear. So it's always kind of had that squatted in the rear. But like I said, I want to use this truck to tow, so I'm going to have it a little higher in the back. And I've measured, let's see, I'll kind of show you where I was measuring to go off of here. I was just kind of hooking my tape right here at the bottom because I knew this point was a good point. I can measure on both sides. And I measured from here just to my actual fender. And I have a 1/4 inch difference from this side to the other side. It's a 1/4 inch, I can deal with that. But I do have, and that's a 1/4 inch with the truck in the air right now. I've got the axle supported on jack stands, and then I just put my jack under the bumper to raise the body up, or raise the frame, you'd say, kind of up away from the leaf springs, which is actually where the kit mounts. It mounts to, let's see if I can go back and show on the instructions, kind of for anybody that may not be familiar with it. So that's kind of how it's going to be. You'll have one bracket that actually mounts to your frame rail, and the other bracket just mounts on top of the leaf spring. So like I said, this jack was to raise your body or your frame rail, and then I have the leaf springs and the axle supported kind of in a stationary point there. And like I said, I got everything measurement wise where I want it to be. So now I can start taking my wheels off and start getting the brackets out, start kind of figuring out where to mount stuff and start drilling holes and everything. So I'm gonna go real quick kind of through what the kit came with before I start installing stuff. So let me kind of show what's all in the kit. All right, so obviously kind of the most important part. I'm not a big instructions person, but something like this, I do kind of use instructions. Normally I'm just one of those get parts out, figure out how it goes together. But I am going to be using instructions on this. So kit came with instructions, some cool stickers, and you've got, looks like your airline. And yeah, airline, all the fittings in there. I think this is, I noticed in the instructions, I think this is like the installation tool, which you'll use between your top bracket and your lower bracket. I believe that's what that is there. You can tell there's some more brackets here. Like I said, you got the airline. You got an airlift sticker. Then you got all your hardware. There's one of the bags there. And so that'd be the bottom, would be the top for the air fitting. So on this, when I was looking online, I was trying to figure out how big these bags actually were, because I had done some measuring prior to ordering this kit on the distance I had on the truck, how it sat, and I was trying to find how big these bags, or how tall the bags actually were. So if anybody's watching this and you're wondering, I'm gonna go ahead and just measure kind of just from here. So the bag is 6 inches. You can see there, the bag itself is 6 inches. I guess you'd say mounting from this to the bottom is 6.5, but the bag itself is 6 inches. So I wish I could have kind of found that online when I was looking, but fortunately couldn't. But that way if anybody's looking. So you got both your bags. Okay, so this would be what goes on the leaf springs here. And yep, and there's your upper brackets. So your upper brackets be like that. And then I believe it's gonna go like that. You got your bolt in the bottom, and it kind of lets you adjust it that way, whichever way you need. But that's pretty essentially it right there. Leaf spring, frame rail, airbag in between, and kind of raise, the bag where you want it to sit. So that is what all came in the kit. And just more, I guess, more of their products. So, all right, let's see if we can figure this out. All right, so I'm trying to figure out here the little like installation tool. That's what they're calling this. Right here it says secure the upper bracket to the installation tool. So it says secure. So in the picture, it's really, really loose. But I mean, here it says secure. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm actually supposed to tighten this all the way down there to that point. I think I am, because it says secure. I mean, but then this is the problem with pictures sometimes. All the instructions have been great, but this right here, I mean, you got, it's just say tight or loose. Because see right here, it says loosely attach the tool to the lower bracket. So I mean, I know in the lower bracket, I got to leave it loose, but the top one, it's like loosely, tightly, just all it says secure. Secure could be loose, or I mean, I don't know, I'm making it a bigger deal than it probably actually is. But like I said, I'm just trying to figure that out right now. So, and these other brackets I was talking about, they're calling them little L bracket. It's if you have axle flip, if your axle's on top of your leaf springs, but this truck is not. This truck does not have an axle flip and is also not notched, and that's something I got to do next, is notch this frame, because it's really, really close. So that's another thing I'm gonna do here soon, is I'm gonna have to notch this frame. The previous owner didn't, and he should have, but oh well, it's just something else I can try to make content on. But yeah, so getting off the topic, back to this. I'm gonna just tighten this. I mean, these things, they compress. They compress pretty good. I just don't want to, obviously don't want to mess anything up. So I think I'm just gonna kind of just butt it all the way up there and just kind of figure it out. So I'll get back with you guys whenever I kind of figure it out and know a little more. Okay, so I think I figured out the alignment tool. I'll show y'all in a sec. But right here it says, this is all talking about how to get whatever. And then right here it says the mounting holes must stay 3/4 of an inch from the rounded edge of the frame rail. And then also, I missed this part here, all 4 holes are in the middle section of the frame. That's what it's saying, the upper bracket legs are flat against frame rail, and all the mounting holes they want in the middle section of the frame. And then this bold part, at least 1.25 inches must be left above top of the upper bracket. So let me show y'all where I'm at right now. All right, so this is all loose, but I've got this, and so I've got it. That's pretty, it's not exactly over here. It is pretty much in the center of the frame. Here it's a little higher, but the frame gets a lot thicker, right, once it gets past the axle. But that there, let's see if y'all can see a little better. And then, let me get my tape. It said 1.25 inches. Well, I've got this nut as far down as I can get it, and I'm sitting at as 1 1/8 inches and 1 1/8 inches whenever it's gonna be mounted straight or level. So 1 1/8 inches, I think I'm gonna go with it right there. So now I can mark all my mounting holes now, and this here is kind of how you're I haven't got to this point. I don't know if you have to remove the stock U-bolt. I know they gave us a new one, but I don't know if it's just to go right here on this part and this just hooks over. I think that's how it would go, but again, I haven't got to the instructions yet to know if it does or not, but I believe that's how it's actually gonna go. It hooks your stock U-bolt, and then it gives you a new one that you'll just kind of clamp this to where the bottom won't move. And then also, you can kind of show now the bottom how it works, but well, it's hitting up here. But this is the reason there's a slot here, is it kind of just lets all this move left to right, give or take. But yeah, I think I've got kind of everything. I kind of got a good idea now where I want to mount it. So I think it does have this cutout in the frame right here. But I mean, I kind of want to keep these as straight up and down as possible. I don't want the bag to be crooked. So I'm a good inch away from that hole with these two mounting ones, and I'm in the middle of the frame. Got an 1 1/8 from here. I think I'm gonna go with it right there. All right, so like I said, I want to keep, so this is kind of, it's not perfectly level, it's kind of slanted forward. So I'm wondering if it's better for this to be slanted forward or if it should be direct level. Because I'm thinking these two need to be parallel with each other, I would think. Let's see if I can find the instructions anywhere. All right, so I'm just gonna, I couldn't really find anywhere the instructions where it says whether this needs to be kind of straight with the frame or if it should be more like that, parallel with this. I'm gonna go more with this because if it's like this, that's gonna have the bag, like the bag's gonna be kind of wanting to push like that almost, the way if this top bracket is level and the bottom one, if they're like, I guess what I'm trying to say is if your mounting plates are like this, well, that's gonna make the bag want to almost banana. So I think I'm gonna go, which is fine, we're doing it like this because that gives me, actually, it drops me a little lower on these to get that more centered in the frame. So I believe I'm gonna go like that. I believe I'm gonna measure, find the equal distance on both of these, and I believe I'm gonna mount it like that. That may be wrong, but again, I looked in the instructions, I couldn't find anywhere that answered this for me. But I just think common sense, that's the better way for the lifetime of the bag. That's the better way I think it should be mounted. So that's how I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna start marking all the holes, and then maybe we can start drilling and start mounting everything together. All right, so I've kind of got everything put in here. Everything's loosely put in. All of the bolts in the back, I haven't gotten any of those tight. I mean, all of the fittings, my air fitting up here. The only thing I've actually got tight so far is this U-bolt here, but I just kind of wanted to show kind of how this kit has gone together. So haven't ran into any like issues. So far everything's been good, but you can see it just loops over your U-bolt. The new one goes right here. Comes with this little like support bar, and that just locks this. And then, like I said, see, I haven't even gotten the bag tightened yet, but I'm gonna figure out where the bag is straight up and down perfectly, and then the bolt, you can see it right under there. I'll tighten that up, and still got to tighten everything up here, tighten everything against the frame, and then can try it out. So yeah, so far haven't really ran into any issues. The hardest part I've ran into is just drilling the holes in the frame, which sharp bit makes your life a lot easier. And for clearance wise, everything's been good on clearance. It's a little closer here, but it's a lot more room on the other side. Not sure why it's like that, because all my measurements are the same. All the brackets are in the same spot, but there's a lot more room on my other side. I said a lot more room, probably another ½ inch more room over here. And then right here, this brake line here, you can see right there how close those bolts, the U-bolts, how close they actually get. They don't hit anything. You see there, they clear everything, but just tightening the nuts, that can take a little bit, just because the brake lines, you don't want to break them. And then you got the other your stock U-bolt where they have this like part that goes out. So like I said, everything clears, but it is close. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start tightening everything up, and then I can start running my line, and hopefully then we can put the wheels and tires back on and see how it performs. So the only issue, I almost forgot, the only issue I kind of ran into with this kit is it is for, these are what this body style is, the GMT 800, and then the GMT 900 is like, I think your 07 and up, maybe like to 07 14 or something like that, 13. And so I guess maybe those trucks have a boxed frame. I'm not sure, because in the instructions they talked about using these little spacers in between the frame, and then these bolts, which are for, mounting your upper brackets to the frame, and these are the only bolts they sent. So this truck does not have a box frame. It is a C channel, your C channel style frame. So I did have to run a track supply and go get some different, like, shorter bolts, and I went and just got grade 8 bolts. I think I got 1.5 inches. And they worked perfect, but that is the only thing I did kind of have to modify with this kit. Like I said, if I guess I had a box frame, all this I could have used, but that's the only thing that I wasn't able to use. And then there's some other hardware, which I think is just, these are for the L brackets and stuff, or some of this hardware is for the L brackets, which I did not have to use those since I do not have an axle flip. But yeah, other than that, that's the only issue I've run into, and really not an issue. I got grade 8 bolts versus whatever these are, grade 5s maybe. So it's actually an upgrade, but other than that, kit has gone together really well. All right, so it's a few days later, and I had to kind of take my tire and wheel back off because this is the passenger side of my truck. And this bag, what it was doing is, when I aired it up after installing it, it wasn't sitting like it is now, which is how the bag is supposed to sit. It was trying to, like, kind of banana. The bag was kind of banana on me, so it was like creasing one side and then it'd be aired up real big on the other side. And that's not how the bag's supposed to be. This is how they're supposed to ride here. So I had to take the tire back off, and I kind of got it. I had to take all this apart again to just kind of push my bag down, get it out, and then just kind of had to just work it while giving it some air. And this, I got the airlines just temporarily zip tied up. I haven't got them mounted yet. But like I said, I just kind of having to manhandle it, trying to form the bag just by hand, and using the help of a little bit of air to help make it shape. But I finally got it like it's supposed to be. So I figured it was also a good time to get kind of what it looks like on the truck now. But you can see there, that's what it looks like mounted in the truck. So that would be, I guess, what the finished product would look like there. And my driver's side, it went perfect. It aired up just like this, like it was supposed to. It was just this passenger side that was kind of gave me a little bit of fits, but I got it fixed now. And so now what I'm gonna do is put everything back together, and then I've got to take that side by side. I got to take a trip to the dealership we got it from to go get it serviced, and I'm also probably gonna get a windshield put in it. So I'm about to have the first trial, I guess, test and trial on this setup. So I'm about to hook the trailer up to the truck and make about a 40-minute drive with it. So we'll see how it performs. So far I'm impressed. I think it's a good quality product, good quality kit. Install, I'd give it about maybe a 5 out of a 10. Not too bad, but you definitely gotta have a little bit of knowledge, be able to measure all your marks, where to put your holes and everything. And if you got a little basic mechanical knowledge, you could do this yourself. And the bag, I have it hooked up right now. The bag is actually sitting at 47.5 pounds. I aired it up to 50, but my little hook up here, it leaks just a little bit, so it's let it leak down a little bit. But yeah, that's 50 pounds of pressure in the bag. The max you can go is 100 on them, but that's 50. So what I'm gonna do is hook my trailer up to it, and then kind of see, depending on the ride height, how much it squats when I put the side by side on it. Kind of air it up from there, and go test it out. All right, so I'm about to set up my GoPro, and the bags, I've let all the air out of them, and I'm about to air them up, and you can see the major rake that the trailer has in the front. And just kind of disclaimer here real quick, this trailer's kind of going against me in this video, and kind of what I'm trying to show. But you see how this is my grandfather's trailer, it's not mine, but you see how the ball is actually on top of the frame itself. Well, me and my wife we're about to get our own trailer, one that's a little lighter than this one, because this is a pretty heavy trailer. But the trailer we're getting is going to have the ball in line with actual rail, which will already help and raise this frame rail up, and already help with the rake. And like I said, this is no air in the bags at all. But I've already actually had air in the bags, already towed the trailer, actually the setup just like it is. If you can tell, my windshield is on the Ranger. So I've already taken it, had it serviced, and this is me actually getting back home with it. And I figured this was a good time to just kind of show no air in the bags, and then I'm gonna put 40 pounds in them, and I can go all the way to 100. 100 is the max you can put in the bags, but I'll put 40, and just kind of, you can see the difference here. There's a gap, you see the tire of my fender, and then here it's pretty much flush. So that'll be kind of the most, I guess, easy way to tell the difference when the bags are actually aired up. But I'm actually impressed. I will say that this setup here with the trailer and the Ranger, and I think I put 50 pounds in the bag when I actually towed to take it to get serviced. I'm actually impressed. The truck rides rough, period, because it's lowered and it's not notched. It needs to be notched. That's going to be a coming up video I'm going to do here pretty soon, just because that needs to be done, and should have already been done by the previous owner of this truck. But for what the truck rides pretty rough, but with the bags and this setup, the truck rides smoother than it does just without a trailer, without the Ranger. I mean, the truck, it was a smoother ride pulling a trailer and this Ranger with airbags on the rear than it was just stock with nothing on the truck at all. So that right there already impressed me, because you are towing, and it's kind of a common theory, you know, trucks do tend to ride a little better with a load on the rear. It's not like that's, you know, a new thing, but just the fact that it rode real smooth, the truck was very planted, felt very planted the whole time I was pulling it. I mean, for it being a little single cab and being lowered, I mean, towing is not ideal in this situation. So taking all that in, I'm actually very impressed. I'm already impressed with the quality of the kit and just everything about it so far. But now that I've actually had a test drive with it, had, you know, one drive under the belt of the, you know, the whole setup, still got some more fine tuning. I'll learn a little more about how the sweet spots on what makes it ride best on the pressures in the bags. But I think I had it at 50. I just set it halfway, 50 pounds in the bags whenever I actually took the Ranger to get serviced. And again, very impressed with it. So it's enough rambling on of me. I'm gonna set my GoPro up, and no air in the bags right now. I'm gonna put some air in them and just let you guys watch kind of what it changes, kind of from the way it looks right now. So hopefully you can tell a difference now. and that is with 40 pounds of pressure in the bag. So like I said, if I wasn't happy with the way it rode, or if I guess I had a heavier load on the rear, you still have 60 pounds all the way up to 100 pounds that you could put in the bags. But that is with 40 pounds in the bags, what the truck and trailer look like. And you can tell, I'll get a kind of more close up. I didn't get a close up of the before shot. Sorry about that, but you can see the gap with the kind of my tire and the fender. And then come to the back, which was about even, and now it's about a similar gap to what the front is. It's got the truck level with the load now on the bumper. And like I said, that's also with this kind of horrible setup. I don't like the way that trailer setup is. So that's even with this going against me, kind of fighting opposite of what I'm trying to accomplish here. But like I said, if I had a trailer where the ball was actually in line with the frame itself, the trailer still does have a rake to it, as you can see, but not near like it did. But if this tongue was set up different, like I was kind of talking about, it would have the trailer, I'm pretty positive, almost dead level, just like the truck is sitting level. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to get a, it's not, I guess, it's about as good of a comparison as a before and after as I can get. So hopefully you can see the difference. And like I said, that's not even the max on the bags, which max would probably ride really rough. I had 50 pounds when I rode it before, and the truck rode very smooth. So 40, 50 pounds is kind of what I'm just going with, at least with this setup, since I kind of already have experience with this. And like I said, the heavier the load, you know, the difference, you'll actually adjust the bags. And these bags, I haven't said, this kit is kind of the manual air. You'll fill it manually. You do not have a compressor or nothing with this kit, but that is an add-on you can put with this kit. And I probably will end up eventually adding a compressor on, just to save the hassle of having to do it manually, and you know, having it where I can have a controller in the cab. But what I was using to actually know what the pressure I'm putting in is, I got my little Craftsman, just not even sure what it's called, inflator or whatever it is. But yeah, just kind of this here, you can see, you can adjust all the differences you want on kind of what you want to put in. I don't even remember what this thing goes to on the max. But yeah, I was using this here to go kind of, that's my, I guess you'd say, my controller, my gauge for the bags there. I was just using that, so that way I know I'm getting equal pressure in each bag, not just kind of just hooking a air compressor tank up to it or whatever, and then not even really know what you're just kind of guessing, you know, guesstimating or whatever what you're putting in there. I actually can use that to know I'm putting equal pressure in each side to where the truck is level. But yeah, that's kind of gonna wrap up this video. I guess kind of just to kind of run over the details again. The kit, quality kit. I recommend it to other guys who are lowered. I can imagine with better shocks, this truck doesn't have very good shocks on it. Well, it has good shocks, but they're definitely on the weak side and going out. So with new shocks, a C-notch on this truck, a few other changes with these bags, I can't imagine how much better it would actually be. But with what I've got to work with here, I'm impressed. I think the kit was around, I'm gonna say upper 300s, I believe, for the kit, which is not bad at all. When it just pretty much transformed this truck, not into the ideal tow rig. It's not what this truck is, but it made it to where I honestly couldn't tow this truck the way it was before, or I definitely wouldn't have wanted to where now I've already towed this pretty comfortably, and it felt pretty safe. Like I said, the truck felt planted, and I was just kind of had a smile on my face the whole time, knowing that my money that I spent on the kit was worth it. So it's always nice to get a product and your money feels worth what you spent on the product versus just wasted, and you know, it's always a nice thing. So yeah, I've rambled on a lot. I tend to do that, so sorry about that. But yeah, kind of run over the kit again. It's a Slam Air 59209. That's the I guess the model number or kit number for this truck. That was GMT 800, GMT 900 is what the instructions had, but 59209 by Airlift. It's called Slam Air. It's 4 lowered trucks, and that's the kit that I installed on this truck. If you have GMT 900, I believe the bolts and hardware that come with it, if you have a box frame, or you could actually get on your truck and see if it does have a boxed frame and the hardware that came in the kit, you'll be good to go with. Mine was C-notched, not box frame. That's about the only complication I ran into, but a couple quick little run supply up to Tractor Supply, quick little run up there, a few grade 8 bolts later, and I mean, problem solved. So hopefully this video will help or answer some questions for any other lowered guys out there that kind of might be wanting to still use their truck while keeping the lowered look.